What's up, you guys? Man, this is Cassanova, man. I am back with Casanova's boxing kit, man. We pulled no punches, man. We are here. There's nowhere to run, you guys, man. There's nowhere to run. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell so you get notified every time I drop a vid. Man, let's get into the topics for today. Listen, man. Can we talk about ducking culture in boxing and really define the definition of ducking? Because to me, I feel like it's now becoming just a word that we use in boxing. When something doesn't happen that we want to happen as fast as we want it to happen. We act like negotiations don't take long. We're acting like negotiations happen online and then they just so happen the next day to translate into a fight. That's how we act. And what's pissing me off even more is that we have boxing pundits, boxing guys who've been in the rooms, who've been in the contract rooms, who've been in behind the scenes, and know how long it takes to actually really make a fight, and to make a big level fight at that. These are not small level fights we're talking about. These are big level fights that we're talking about. You understand how long it takes to get a mega fight gone and on? It's not that easy as, oh yeah, okay, they agreed to wait. Oh yeah, they agreed to this. Or they agreed to that. You have to get the promoters talking. Matter of fact, not only you got to get the promoters talking, you got to agree on the venue, the purse split, make sure everything is cool. All of that. Everybody knows that going into boxing negotiations. And so when I see boxing negotiations go online, you know what I looked at it as? Twitter contracts. Don't mean nothing. Null and void. That's how I look at that. I don't look at when I see Shakur and Devin going back and forth online. I look at that as Twitter, just Twitter talk. It's not real. It's not nothing to hang your hat on. It's nothing to, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. No. We wait till it materializes. And for boxing pundits and boxing guys, they know who I'm talking about. And there's one in particular that I'm talking about right now that he know better. He done been in big fights. He knows how negotiations go. They don't happen on Twitter. They don't happen online. They happen in offices and at the negotiation table. You know how this thing goes. And you know how the egos go. And you know how this game is being played. We know what's going on. We watched this move before. We watched Shakur get lowballed by Devin Haney and the father. And then y'all claimed, oh, he should have took the deal. Oh, he should have did this. He should have did that. He just went in and took the deal. Okay. That's for y'all, right? But it didn't make business sense to him. Y'all know that was a lowball offer. And the reason why they offered that lowball offer because they knew Shakur wasn't going to take that. They knew Shakur wasn't going to take that deal. They knew that already. They sent a bullshit offer. We know what that is. That's fluff to say I sent an offer through. But what's going on right now, ain't no offer being sent through. There's no offer being sent through, y'all. Stop it. And if y'all think that Shakur's ducking Devin Haney, y'all out y'all minds. What he's telling Devin Haney, it's not going to be on your terms. You're not going to be the A side in this negotiation. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. It's going to be a negotiation. And so sometimes these things take time. So to call somebody a duck for that is crazy. They're saying, oh, he went quiet on the... Because negotiations ain't done on Twitter. Negotiations not done on Twitter. So this ducking culture that we have out here, that we're facing with, that we're talking about, doesn't really exist. If you really put your mind to it and really think about ducking culture. This ducking culture that y'all talking about, it exists, but not to the degree that y'all act like. There's clear ducks. Like, Bivol's a clear duck for Benavidez. He was his mandatory 3 times. Been his mandatory for over 2 years. Nothing. Now, okay, let's get it. Let's do it. Nothing. Y'all can play him the better beef crap. No, I watched him fight people outside of better beef, man. Nothing, right? But y'all know what y'all will call a duck? Benavidez not fighting Ja. Now, y'all calling Benavidez a duck for not fighting Ja, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Zuffa has literally said we're not negotiating with none of the other boxing promoters. David Benavidez has not signed to Zuffa. So how do you make that fight happen? If Dana White has clearly stated, I'm not talking to none of you guys. I don't want to negotiate with y'all. If y'all fighters want to fight over here for our belts over here. Come on, man. Y'all got to stop with this. It sound cool to say duck. It do. Better be. You calling out people saying that Dave Benavidez is a duck. How? Ain't none of y'all ever said his name until he said y'all names. See, it's even becoming popular with the boxers. And the boxers know better. Ain't nobody ducking nobody, especially not them big boys up there, man. Hey, come on. Dave Benavidez ducking better be at this point in your career. You easy pickings for him. It's easy. It's an easy day for him. I'm not going to lie to you. It's an easy day for David. You're not as quick as him. Yes, you got power, and that's cool. That's cool, right? You got power. But I've watched your power get neutralized. I watched your power not be that effective of recent. Your last fight. Like, you're going to have to me, you're going to have to prove to me again that you're that again. Because at the end of the day, you're older now. You got all these surgeries under your belt, and this kid is 29 years old. You got to prove it. You got to prove it. Sorry, but to call him a duck is ridiculous. But it's only done. It's only done to the top fighters. The duck thing. It's like, all right, Canelo duck David Benavidez, right? You call that a duck, right? But then, sorry, then everybody saying, "Oh no, I understand that though." You understand it? I thought he was a duck. How do you understand duck activities if it's such a bad thing to be a duck? You're telling me you understand it though, right? Like I said, they'll make concessions for the ones they want to make concessions for. They'll make concessions for them. Then I'm just bringing up some different type of scenarios just to talk about the duck culture that's being presented to us out here. I don't like it. I don't agree with it at all. So I think we need to stop using the word duck until we actually see a real duck. When we see a couple of times negotiations getting started and stalled, that's a duck. To call Shakur a duck is stupid, and to call David Benavidez a duck is dumb too. And if you go out there and you're a boxer, and this particular boxer, I mean, he knows his boxing, right? Supposed to know his boxing, right? The problem I have with him is your information's wrong, bro. And you know what it's like to be in negotiations for big fights. And you out here spewing this type of rhetoric and knowledge. It's bullshit to me. Be honest with you. I'm just be straight up honest with you. It's BS. But let's move on. We move on. We digress from that conversation. We're a week away from Boots Ennis and Zayas. It's going down, man, and we're here. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what goes on in this fight. I'm excited for the fight. Everything is lining up. Like I said, prediction vid is going to be dope when I do it next week. Because what we're going to have to do with probably another Thursday show probably next week. You know what I'm saying? The reason being is next weekend is birthday weekend. So that's going to be fun and everything like that. You know, having fun, you know, going up another age and everything like that. But yeah, it's a birthday weekend, so Thursday I definitely will put on a show for you guys with the predictions and everything like that. Xander Zayas, I think, is a live dog in this fight. I do not think that this is going to be a runaway like everybody else is thinking. You know, a lot of people getting news out of Boots camp that he's busting up this sparring people and notable guys, and they're not wanting to come back and all that kind of stuff. I'm not impressed because at the end of the day, you have to do it in the ring, and none of them guys is Xander Zayas. It's cool to do it in training camp. Training camp is cool. And you gotta have training camp, a la Errol Spence. Talked about it. I will discuss that in a later in the show for sure. But as far as this particular fight, it's cool. I think you need to look good in camp for sure. I'm not saying you don't, but at the end of the day, him looking good in camp is not going to determine to me who's going to win the fight. That doesn't determine that. It's good to know, but doesn't determine the thing. But I do think that do think that these days, man, we're such a name calling culture, especially in boxing. We're such a name call. We got to put a title to everything that we do, everything we talk about, everything that comes about. Now, what they're saying is Errol Spence has a bunch of excuses for the Bud fight. That didn't sound like a man with excuses. That sounded like a man with reasoning. And reasoning means that I it's not an excuse, it's a reason. And so him breaking down his story, he could have been told this story. See, if he said it right after the fight and said all this, okay, you may say it's an excuse. But he waited 3 years to tell his story. It's not an excuse. It's literally a reason for everything. We said, why did you look tired? Give you a reason. Something seemed off about you. Give you a reason. Seemed like you weren't prepared. Give you a reason. He was asked these questions, y'all. These questions were asked to him by Andre Ward, which is a fantastic interview. Y'all go ahead and check it out. It's on YouTube for sure. Go check that out. The Errol Spence interview, about 2 hours, man. Some very motivational, very great talking points, and great conversation, to be honest with you. But yeah, man. Y'all say it's an excuse. I say it's a reason. Also, Errol Spence ain't the type of guy to just back out. That's not gonna happen. It's like he said, even in the Manny Pacquiao fight, where he had ripped his retina, he wanted to fight still. He wanted to sign a release for him to get out there. I said, yo, this dude's crazy. He's crazy for trying to get out there and fight Manny Pacquiao with a torn retina. Yeah, that's not gonna work. At the end of the day, though, Errol Spence is a warrior. He's a champion. He's a unified champion. He's a 3-belt holder at 147. And to me, Errol Spence is a Hall of Famer. Errol Spence has went to every backyard and did what he needed to do. He's going to somebody's backyard again in Timzoo next month. We will be covering that heavy. We'll be definitely covering that heavy next week. So I want y'all to stay tuned, stay locked in. Errol Spence, I was happy to get the interview because I wanted to see where his mindset was, and his mindset is in a great place, man. Not just for boxing, but for his kids, his wife, and his family. That's amazing to me. That's more important than boxing. His mind seems like it's right. His priorities are in the right spot. He got everything set up to where he wants it. And I'm happy for him, man. I really am. But yeah, man, listen, I want to thank you guys for joining me today, man. I appreciate y'all for being on the pod today. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell to get notified every time I drop a vid. No safe corners. No count outs. None of that. This is Cassanova's Boxing Pit. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, peace.